Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Kidsstoppress Book Club. And today we have with us Mirabelle. So, Mirabelle, thank you so much. She's joining us all the way from the US, and it's about 6 a.m., but she's volunteered to do this, and I'm so happy for you. Thank you so much, Mirabelle.
You're
And
welcome.
just a brief introduction. Mirabelle is a storyteller, a yoga teacher, dancer, and author of the best-selling children's book 366 Words in Mumbai. She also facilitates the Rhythm and Soul Playshop, a parent-child program to facilitate learning skills through storytelling and dance. And obviously, she is going to be sharing with us about books on life skills for children. So, Mirabelle, why life skills for children?
Because I'm insanely passionate about this topic. Having
Right.
grown up with a value system where there is good and there's bad. So if you do this, it's good behavior. If you do that, it's bad behavior. And what that does to the way you think is it says, I'm either good or bad.
Mhm.
And if I'm doing this and it's good, then what everybody else is doing is bad.
Right.
It creates a sense of judgment in a human being to have values. And I know this sounds very controversial because we always go on about like my kid has to have values, and but I see the good space where that intention comes from.
Right.
But in my own journey, from a completely type A person, very judgmental, very like go 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 go, to how yoga happened,
Right.
and then the complete shift, but it wasn't an instant shift because
Right.
while the physical aspect was a shift very soon, the aspect of changing the way I think to be nonviolent, to be accepting, to be compassionate, and I'm still on that journey. I mean, I've nowhere reached close to where I would like to be. So when we had our daughter, who's now 4 years old, I thought, let's do an experiment and see if we can do this differently with her. It may work, it may not work, let's try. So that's how the journey began with life skills books and, kids love books. So,
Okay,
yeah.
awesome. So, tell me, how did you go about in this process for figuring out the right life skills books, or how far have you been in the experiment, and how's it? Is it tough? Is it like, did you want to ever quit, or did you say, okay,
Never want to quit, but yeah, I have some very interesting moments with my daughter who will remember things I said very long ago, and sometimes I slip into my old behavior pattern mode. It happens, and then she kind of correct me, and she said, "I just want you to consider, Mama, if you could say it like this," and I'm like, "Oh, shit."
it's like a tough moment for you?
Yeah. So it's my own journey. It's ongoing, and I'm happy to have her and the other children that come to the Rhythm and Soul Playshop to kind of share that with.
Mm-hmm.
How did I figure what life skills? Um, One of the largest life skills is what I'd like to call perception appreciation,
Right.
because there is no reality per se, in the sense that it's all about how we perceive things. And that's what makes our inner world, which is the world that's most alive for us. When you're sharing something on social media, or you're talking about something to your friend while your children are playing, what you're thinking is what they perceive of you and what you want them to perceive of you. And then that's what you're sharing. And this is constant across human beings across the world. Um, and so if we can learn to see where another is coming from and then meet them where they are, not letting go of what we believe in or what's important to us, but understanding that at this point, this is important to somebody else,
Right.
then it's just a more peaceful. I'm not talking about making the world a better place, nothing. I'm just saying it's just more peaceful in your being for yourself. And I
Right.
mean, what you need, right?
Right. So, Mirabelle, do you want to begin with the books that you want to share?
Sure. So the first book I picked is for younger kids. I've tried to kind of have an age group
Sure.
thing. Though really, like my daughter's 4, and all these books work for her. This book is called "It's Okay to Be Different," and
Uh-huh.
it's by Todd Parr. The reason I picked this book is because when I was designing the Rhythm and Soul Play shop, I wanted this as a theme. And then I just Googled it, and then this book came up, and I ordered it, and it's just absolutely amazing. Why this is a life skill? Because every single person, there's something about you that feels kind of like, oh, my nose is too long, or I'm too talkative, or I'm too introverted, or everybody
Yeah,
either
which
has
is
a
never
label for
happy.
themselves. Yeah, yeah. And so everybody's insecure about something. So it's saying it's okay to be different. And
Right.
I'll just quickly go through a few pages, if that's okay,
Yeah.
to so it says it's okay to be missing a tooth or two or three, for that age when the
Yeah.
teeth start falling. And it says it's okay to need some help. And there's like a blind woman with a dog. And then it says it's okay to come in last. And there's the little tortoise. It's okay to dance by yourself. It's okay to be proud of yourself. I mean, sometimes you say, oh, kids are not, you want them to do better, and you're like,
Yeah.
you should do that. And then how about being okay to say positive things about yourself? Because people say, oh, I'm usually late, or whatever things they say, but they don't often say affirmative things about themselves. So and then when you do this, a good thing to do, it's okay to be adopted. A good thing to do is to then let the kids talk about, what is different in them, and what it's okay to be whatever that they are. So it's very, very empowering little book.
Mhm.
So that's the first one. And then there's the second one, which is again kind of for the younger age group, but as an adult, this is one of my favorite books. Um, this lifestyle is about being okay to make boo-boos. So it's okay to make mistakes, and mistakes are not mistakes. Mistakes are opportunities. It's an important life skill because when something in our life happens that doesn't go the way we want to,
Right.
we think, why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
I'm stuck. But not going into karmic things and all, this book is called Beautiful Oops, and it's by Barney Salzberg.
That's the
And
book, Mirabelle. That's the one we're talking about, right?
it's so awesome.
Yeah.
Um, it's a nice hardcover book, and it
Right.
has this wonderful feel that I can't possibly get across on media. But it has a feel of being like a really collaged book. And it says oops, because as kids and as adults, we're all making kinds of oops, right? A torn piece of paper, and then there's a torn piece of paper here, is just the beginning. And then it says every spill,
Mm-hmm.
spill here, has lots, and there's a dog with all these little baby puppies, and lots, and there's two birds with their babies of
Okay.
possibilities. So, and then just go ahead to one of the, because we all mums need coffee and chai. So, a stain, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
little cup with a stain, which looks like that.
Oh.
Says has potential if you play with its shape.
Huh.
So it goes on, and then it says at the end, when you think you have made a mistake,
Right.
oops, think of it as an opportunity to make something beautiful. And these are all the things that were
I
made in the
love
book.
this one, Mirabelle. This has been like on my wish list since you shared it last with me.
It's really, and he's got another beautiful book called Oomph, something beautiful, Oomph or something.
Who's
But this is
Yeah,
so
we'll
good
list
because,
the author and the names in the comments below after the video is
sure,
done. So
sure,
whoever wants to get the links, they can do that.
yeah.
Which is
Um, Yeah, so that's just for a reminder. And what I want to say about these books is that they're as much for us as children because, kids will mirror what we do, not what we say.
right.
This one's for, again, all ages, but maybe slightly older. The illustrations are just fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years ago, when I first started writing children's books, I was talking to my publisher, Preeti, from Fun OK Please. And I was thinking that, I was just getting started on this journey. I was pregnant when I wrote my first book. And I said, I want to write something really positive based on yoga and Vedanta, but not like, preachy. So I went up again and Googled to see if there was anything similar. And then I found these. So I was like, great, written by great authors. I don't need to do this. This book is called Unstoppable Me, and
Mhm.
it's by Wayne Dyer and Christina Tracy. Wayne Dyer recently passed away, but he's one of the most inspirational, best-selling. They say self-help, but I don't believe in that genre. It's exploring possibilities. So this book has 10 ways to soar through life, and I'll just quickly read them. You're great no matter what. 2, persistence pays off. 3, welcome the unknown. 4, you have a choice. 5, farewell to worry. 6, peace begins with you. 7, enjoy the here and now. 8, healthy me. 9, creativity is the key. 10, what can you give?
Wow.
Um, so, for example, let's pick Welcome to the Unknown.
Okay.
You know how sometimes kids always want to know exactly what they're going to do in the day, and sometimes as moms we haven't quite figured that out, or there's all these, driver doesn't show up or whatever happens. So it says change is a good thing. It happens every day. If you learn this when you are young, it will help you on your way. Each day is different from the day before, and it sometimes feels scary when opening a new door. But if you don't fear change and embrace it instead, life will be an adventure and you look forward to what's ahead. So this is kind of like the adulty kind of version. And then this side, they have this little kid who kind of shares its own little journal. It says, I've always spent the summer with my best friend Shay, but this year mom sent me to sleepover camp, which seemed so far away. I cried and I yelled, I won't know anyone. But dad said, try it. I know you'll have such fun. And guess what? He was right. I had nothing to fear. I had such a blast that year that I'm going longer next year. So,
Wow.
yeah, and then it's, being healthy and then it has this really nice thing at the end, which is questions
Mhm.
for kids based on these topics. So it's something you can kind of explore further.
Okay.
It's a great book to pull out at the times when children go low in confidence. And so is the next book that I'm going to share. Um, it's called I Think I Am by
Uh-huh.
Louis C. So all these guys are kind of like one family from Hay House Publications. And they all have written fabulous adult books and they've all had life-changing journeys. And then they've had these kids' books. This book is about teaching kids the power of affirmations. One of the most incredible things that you could ever do is to affirm who you are, what your needs are, and know that it's not wrong to know what your needs are and where you take a stand and, things like that. So it first explains the word affirmation to kids, words that you think or say and believe to be true. And now this is like a universal thing for all kids. It says, there's a kid who has a negative thought, nobody likes me. And then you change that to, I love myself and other people love me too. And then as you keep affirming that, and they say that you say your affirmations every day, say them in front of the mirror, and there's like all these tips at the end. Positive things happens. Positive things happen. Someone says, "Hi, want to be friends?" So it's about changing your energy signature, which people pay like millions of dollars to to get into. So I'll pick one page. Okay. If your friends all want you to go their way, it's easy to think, if I don't do what they want, they will be mad at me. Do what is right for you and tell yourself, I stand up for what is important to me. So what's simple is it's not judging what others are doing. It's just saying, this is where I'm at. This is what's important to me. And I'm going to stick with that.
Strangely, we just did an article today on bullying for kids. I mean, when kids get bullied and how you can ward them off. And this just seems, especially that time when kids go through this bullying stage when they're like between 6 and 9, where they, there's a lot of like, okay, if you don't do this, I'll not be your friend. Like, I can so relate to that right now because,
Yeah.
yeah, it happens all the time, right? You always want to fit in. So,
Yeah.
so it just,
Yeah.
even for adults, it just makes so much sense.
Yeah, and I see that with my daughter too. And I mean, we eat very healthy food, and it's not always so with her friends, and so sometimes she feels like I don't want to go for lunch bunch because their food. It's I said it's tempting to you, and she said, yeah. So and then she had this state where no one wanted to be her friend because she was just like whatever. And so we did this affirmation, and I did it and put her to sleep. And I swear to you, the next day everything changed. So it was really good. Yeah. So this is a great book, and there's all these different things. Please let me know how we're doing on time because I'm
No,
lost
we're
with
fine.
books.
We're fine.
Okay. Okay. Now this book is about a life skill that I think is very important for everybody. You may or may not be interested in the rest of them, but as a human being, you can't run away from this one. And it's about there's two ways of wording this. For lay people, it's about money, and for people that want to see it in a little broader light, it's about abundance.
Okay.
And this, around our children, because we're always around them and we're having conversations with other adults and they're listening, or you're paying someone a salary, or whatever's happening, their interaction with this word money starts very, very young. We're
Absolutely.
not always aware of it, but the way in which we interact ourselves with money and ourselves with other people with money is forming their lifetime impressions of this word that can be fairly abstract or just very like direct, like, oh, it's a piece of paper.
Right.
And some kids will ask, what is money? Like my daughter, or some kids won't, but they are still processing that this is important to my parents, this is important to everybody else. And so, how we communicate to them and around them about money will change the way they view money or wealth or abundance for the rest of their life. So, I think it's a very, very important life skill. Um, One thing that I like to say to Savannah about money is that we're sharing. So I say Papa goes to office and he shares his time and his skills, and then they share money with him. And then the office does all these things and they share their time and skills with another office and they share money with them. So also to understand that it's always a flow. It's not something you have and you keep. It's always got to be in flow. Um, yeah, so this book is by Wayne Dyer and it's called It's Not What You've Got. And if I had space and time and if I could, I would change the title to It's Not What You've Got, It's How You Feel Inside.
Oh.
And it's lessons for kids on money and abundance. Yeah, so I'll just read the 10 lessons and then maybe do a page or two. Lesson number 1, you are not what you've got. Lesson number 2, live within your means. 3, it doesn't matter what they have. 4, you have the power to get what you want. 5, money does not create happiness. 6, every job is important. 7, follow your own dreams. 8, there is plenty for everyone, including you. 9, you earned it, enjoy it. 10, abundance means more than money.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so cool. So this one, the first one says, you're not what you've got. Some people think that you are what you've got and that your toys, clothes, and car really matter a lot. These things are all fun. There's no denying it's true. But the things that you own have nothing to do with you. If you took them away, what would there be? All the great things about you that are harder to see. And the illustration is this little kid with all his qualities, creativity, sense of humor, adventure, and then all the things he has, like a music player and
Yeah.
skateboard, and all these
These things
gadgets. And
are so relevant, Mirabelle, especially in times like today where everything is so material and everything defines your social status. I think this is just so relevant.
yeah, it's
Fantastic.
really cool.
And I
And
really
I
like the concept how you explained about, it's all about we all share money. So
Yeah,
I think that's such a brilliant thing because, and especially to explain to a child that yes, there is a flow to it, and yes, we need to work because I think it's also sometimes regarded as very like I pay this one and that's why it gets done kind of thing versus
yeah,
that very fair
yeah.
concept. So I think that's brilliant. How did you come up with that one?
I worked so much with my own relationship with money, and I in all my reading and stuff. I mean, I remember one Deepak Chopra thing that I read, and he said money is like blood in your veins. It has to flow. If it doesn't, it you will be ill,
Yeah.
and that really stuck with me. So then when I had to explain it to Savannah, who was like 3 or lesser at that point, I wanted her to understand that we're all interdependent. That's a cycle. And I wanted her to have this amazingly positive, empowering sense of money, that it flows, it goes, it comes, and it can do things. It's like a river, it nourishes.
Mm.
So that's how it kind of impromptu came up.
Wow. Nice.
Um, I like this one, or maybe let's do the last one. Abundance means more than money. We all know that money can buy lots of stuff, but just having money is not nearly enough. There are riches to be found to no end here on earth. Your health, great friends, just think what they're worth. Love, laughter, and fun, all these things you can't measure. And believe it or not, they are the real treasure. So that's how the book ends. And then there are questions again. These things I did only when I was like maybe in my mid to late 20s, like making a vision board, and it's giving kids these tools. And Savannah, I was making a vision board a couple of months ago, and she sat by me and made her own vision board. She just drew it out. So it's such a great skill for kids to have because they can draw now. They don't always write.
Yeah.
It's more
Yeah.
real for them. And then the last book that I have is it's a series of books. Again, it's on money, and again, we've already discussed the questions that kids can have. This book is by Pratham,
Yeah.
and it's called The World of Money. It's a series of 4 books, and it's really good because it's very simple. I mean, like we did this book with Savannah, parts of it when she was like, I think 3, and again, it explains barter system and things like that. So it
Yeah.
explains, and we work sometimes with people in gift economy where we do something and then they might do something for us, but all work is equal. So if you're going to write something on Kidsstoppress, for example, and I'm going to share a yoga class with you, there's no exchange of money, but there's an exchange of skills. And because there's no exchange of money, your skill and my skill are equal. There's
Right.
no like, oh, you're a lawyer, so you get paid so much an hour, and you're a maid, so you get paid so much an hour.
Right.
Yeah, so this is, for younger kids, but primarily for older kids, where it talks about, where does money grow? Because you can hear dads always talking about that, right? And, what is money and currency? And it's a little more like down to a less esoteric, but,
Yeah.
also great way to introduce children to this important life skill of abundance.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mirabelle, thank you so much. All of these books have been like awesome, and I just can't wait to go like book shopping, especially with my favorite one, which is Oops, because I think you'll never ever outgrow that one because
Yeah.
sometimes when you're down and out, and that's the only book that you probably need to look because, like you rightly said, it's all about perspective, right?
Yeah.
So absolutely, thank you so much for doing this with us
Well,
and sharing all these lovely books with us. And I'd definitely like to do another session where we can talk about how your journey on the whole life skills program and how do you share that with children, and and through rhythm and dance, right? So we're definitely going
Yeah,
to get back on that one with you.
sure.
Thank you so much and see you.
Welcome. See
Bye.
you. Bye.